Oh, back in 2017 and 2018, it was different in the law firm. You know, our day one office was a hodgepodge of desks from the 80s and 90s, random chairs, a creaky old bookshelf or two, you name it. It wasn't pretty, but it worked. We prioritized function over image, putting money toward actual client work and growth instead of furniture. When we needed new furniture, I ended up building it myself. Phones, I configured Vonage on my own. The website, I learned how to figure it out. Bookkeeping, I did that for 6 years. The point is we were short on cash, so we insourced, learning new skills using sweat equity, and we kept it going. And this kept overhead low. Instead of dropping thousands of dollars on brand new computers, we started out with the laptops we already had. It wasn't ideal, and it wasn't maybe as fun or pretty, but it got us through the early days. Starting cheap doesn't mean you stay cheap. It means you stay profitable enough to invest wisely later. I see so many law firm owners, they want it all right now. But I need a fancy office. That's how the clients are going to take me seriously. I talk to lawyers doing $300,000, sometimes $150K, and they're chomping at the bit for new furniture or like a badass downtown address or a big staff. And then they're shocked when they take home not even $100,000. High overhead and no hustle, that's a recipe for frustration and debt. There's this illusion that outsource everything is the way forward, right? People want to get the attorney on the team so they're not by themselves. They want a paralegal. They want to go get a bookkeeper because they're not an accountant. They want a marketing team, and they want it all from day one. Sure, it's going to be less tedious, but that overhead crushes your margins. You start spreading those resources too thin too early, and that can really stall out your growth or bury you in expenses. I have seen this from so many law firm owners so many times. Those first years are ugly for a reason. They suck. And I'm telling you this from a person who has been there. I have created Ethernet cables from scratch. I've wired it all. I did every single piece of it here with Tracy. And that is so much of the foundation of our success. A big piece is you learn every aspect of your business this way. Because I did the phone system and the bookkeeping, I truly understood our cost structure. I understood how the clients came in. That knowledge made better decisions later when I knew all of that foundational information. So being forced to handle the grunt work teaches you exactly how the money flows, how the clients find you, and what your law firm actually needs. It might not be fun or pretty, but I'm telling you it's the best thing you could ever do. Plus, you get to protect your bottom line. We kept overhead low, so more of our revenue stayed in the business. That let us reinvest in real growth, not just superficial image boosters. Lean budgets in year 1, year 2, year 3 lead to way bigger profits because of the way that you're structuring the business and the foundation that it stands on. It's a little one, but you actually appreciate the upgrades later. And I'm a person who likes nice things. But we finally did buy better computers. We got a staff, we had a team. We got cool, nice new furniture. We knew precisely what tasks we'd have them do because we'd done them ourselves. That being strategic in your hiring and spending means every dollar goes further. Here's an example. Someone's law firm grosses around $300,000 a year, but they invest in the fancy office and maybe an extra person or two too soon for their team. Suddenly they're netting only $100,000, less than what they'd make solo. Overhead kills margins, right? Doing some tasks in-house, especially early on, can keep more profit in your pocket. And for us, after 2 grueling years, we had enough cushion to selectively outsource, like hiring a real IT person or a marketing professional company. We still kept a close eye on ROI. So outsource when you can afford to do it right. But early on, you are the best employee for many tasks. Yeah, blood, sweat, and tears are a real thing in this law firm and in this building. Like literally sweating while assembling desks after a full day of client work, right? And doing everything at the law firm. I've cut my hand building shelves, blood was shed. That's what it took. And maybe we laugh about that, but the point is it's not glamorous. And these stories are to really show you about the ugly side of running a law firm. But that's the foundation of a strong firm. Yeah, I can't tell you how many years that we'd put the kids to bed and then get back on the computer, building out the pipelines and the CRM. Fun? Depends. Personally, I actually really like business, so for me, it's kind of fun. It is, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. But it was necessary, and there were times that I didn't maybe want to do it in that moment. Tony Robbins talks a lot about the seasons of life, right? There's the winter season, the spring, the summer, and the fall, right? Winter sometimes is just something we got to get through. Spring is then when we plant the crop and we plant the seeds to have a harvest, right? In the summertime is beautiful weather and there's some fun to be had. And then there's more work getting ready for the harvest, right? And then we move into fall and we have the harvest and we get to appreciate it and we wrap up knowing winter's coming. And then winter is when we survive on the work we had done previously, knowing a better day is coming. I think a lot of law firms start in winter and don't want to accept it. Hard seasons don't last forever, but they can lay the groundwork for future success. Do not be afraid of the scrappy start. We all love success stories, but the gritty middle is where real growth happens, and embrace it. You know, the rocky cut scenes are kind of real. And know that those training montages with the music going and Rocky working out, getting ready for the big fight. I think everybody wants the big fight, the big moment, and forgets that there's a lot of just drudging through the hard work. But that's the cut scene. And we know then the montage scene turns into the big crowning achievement at the end. So you're not alone. Everyone building a law firm from scratch goes through some version of this. Some things that can help you is set some timelines for upgrades, right? Plan for when you're going to buy the new computers, when you're going to start hiring the team, once you've hit certain revenue or profit milestones. Like, you can treat yourself to nice things. Again, I'm a fan of that. But do so when it won't jeopardize your bottom line or your business. If we had to go back, I would do it the exact same way. We had 2 really tough years. And that is nothing compared then to the years after of high profits and a thriving team. Sometimes we have to sacrifice now to reap rewards later. Too many attorneys try to leapfrog the hustle, spending on fancy offices, staff, and tools that they can't really afford. Then they wonder why they're stuck at 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 revenue with like 100,000 take home. But if you roll your sleeves, learn some basic tech skills, do your own bookkeeping, maybe get some used furniture, have a couple of long nights at the office, your overhead stays low, your knowledge grows, and your profits can soar. Yeah, blood, sweat, and tears for a while. But that's how you build a sustainable firm. We did exactly this for our first couple of years, building the desks ourselves, tinkering with old laptops, configuring the phone system, and doing half of it after midnight. And it worked. Today, we have the freedom to scale, hire strategically, and enjoy real profits. All because we pushed through that gritty start. If you're in those early years now, trust me, it's worth it. So if you're grinding through year 1 or 2, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Drop it below and let's swap some more stories. Or if you're ready to up level and want some more tips on growth, stay tuned and we're going to do this together. Thanks, everybody.